There we go. Morning, Casual Comicer. Thank you for being here punctually at 10:01. I am back, and I had to use the restroom. But welcome back to another Kim Reads Comics live stream. I have a couple things to talk to you about. First and foremost, the announcements. Well, let's go on Instagram first, just so you guys can both have live streams. I don't know if Instagram will last long. Oh my gosh. Okay. We are live on. Ooh, flip it around. Alrighty. Live on Instagram. Live here. We are going to be exploring the live stuff now because I am still learning how all of this works. I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics. I love them. Welcome back to another Cameron Reads Comics Live. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm not always going to be coming to these with announcements about the status of Cameron Reads Comics, but I am currently going to be coming to them with updates, because we have been talking about updates for the channel for a while, for a hot minute. And since last week, there's some stuff going on, and I just want to show you what is going on. First piece of news is the status of the podcast. I kind of gave you guys a brief history of Cameron Reads Comics last week, and it started as an Instagram, then it became a podcast, and now obviously we're here on YouTube. I have decided that the YouTube is going to be the podcast moving forward, or these live streams, because the podcast audio I would give you is not the podcast audio I would usually give you is not really edited too much. And that being the case, I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to edit it to change and be different. I'm going to keep that format, all the imperfections. That's my neighbors. All the imperfections that come with that. So yeah, I think that the goal was always to provide a video podcast, but that coordination, because I'm the only one that does everything. Oh my gosh, those my neighbors again. I'm the only one that does everything. I write all my reviews. I edit the podcast, write all the material, write all the questions, coordinate all the schedules, record, edit, set up, all of it, which is fine, but it's just time consuming. And eventually when we grow, that's my goal, is to grow this channel, which is why I'm trying to give you guys more content all the time. We could, have nicer equipment. I don't want these mics. I want SM600s, or SM7. It's the Shure mic that everyone has, but it's like $300 mic with all the additional equipment. And there is, I want 2 Sony A7s or A3s. See, I don't even remember all the equipment, but I've looked into it because it's like I want 2 cameras so we can cut back and forth, and I'll get a panel board that can coordinate both cameras, stuff like that. So in the meantime, though, I think a quick fix to be able to give YouTube some better content, some better long form podcast content, is doing the live stream as how I would format the podcast, which is how you saw something like the Clay MANN interview I recently did. In the format it was, it was a lot more casual, which I'm for at Casual Comicer. It's a lot more casual and it was a lot more chill. But that being the case now, yeah, that's how we're going to move forward in that. So the podcast is going to be the live stream, I guess, is the announcement for the time being. I want to try and do, and there will probably be some solely audio podcast content, because I can't set up my camera and my computer and my live stream everywhere I go. And especially it may not be the most conducive environment to two people until I can get a better camera, but that's on the horizon. That's coming down the pipe. You have been told. The next, that being said, with the live stream being the podcast now, because I'm just going to snatch up. I'm going to update my StreamYard membership. I'm on the free one because I want to see how the platform worked. And that being the case, I want you guys to be able to see. I want you guys moving forward to know what is going on. So, I'm sorry. I'm just talking, mumbling. So I'm going to try and do a Tuesday or a midweek podcast recording style live stream. And then these Sunday sessions just to hang. I just want to talk about my poll list and what I was reading. And after last week's video, I caught up on my poll list a heck of a lot. So that's good news. Yeah. Okay. And now we can talk about the MANN interview. I freaking love that guy. He is my bud. We became friends at San Diego Comic-Con. I cornered him a couple times because I stumbled upon him at a panel, and he sat behind me at a panel, and I'd bought art from him the year before. So I said, I know who you are. And I knew he had a Batman Elseworlds coming out. He briefly told me about it last year. He's a very dry guy in the best possible way. You saw that if you watched the live stream, and also you can go watch it right now. He's very dry, and we had been, we got beers together, and it was the greatest moment of my life because, I compare it. If you guys listen to Comic Pop Returns, the podcast that they have called no, it's not. They have Elseworlds Exchange, but on Elseworlds Exchange, they post All Stars, which is a long monthly conversation between Josh Williamson and Sal. And it is my favorite thing in the world. And that's what it feels like, because Josh is so casual about everything. And as he should be. It's not a marketing thing. It's just like hey, how do you think about this? Oh, yeah, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for 3 hours. Oh, how crazy was this thing that we did when we saw Deadpool, Wolverine, da-da-da. That is how I really kind of want my interactions with creators to be. I'm so jealous. I actually talked to Sal about that at Comic-Con. I said, I'm so... Because, at the Eisner Awards, Daniel Warren Johnson had won his 2 Eisners. And then there's the after party, which is in the room next door. And Daniel Warren Johnson just came over and started chit-chatting with Sal, shooting the breeze. And I talked to Sal after the next day, and I ran into him on the floor. And if I know what you look like, I just go up to you because comics mean that much to me. I saw Sal and I said, dude, Daniel Warren Johnson, Eisner Award winner Daniel Warren Johnson just came up to you after he won his Eisners. How does that feel? And having an opportunity like I did to just go get drinks with one of my favorite artists and have that kind of same interaction was it's just really special. And I hope to never use it for leverage. I just really respect what these creators do. So I'm never trying to climb the social ladder that way, because I ask creators all the time to come on the podcast and I don't expect them to respond. I'm okay with rejection. I'm okay with no. Nothing against them. I've asked creators that have said yes and then ghosted me, and that's fine, dude. Whatever. They're just living their lives. I'm living my life, I have a stamped wrist because I went to an Angels game yesterday. Okay. So MANN interview recap. It was special. Him and I, the coolest part too, though, and the stuff I live for, was we did the live stream and I said goodbye to all the public. And then it was him and I just kind of on the feed on StreamYard for another freaking hour. And it's just he was asking me questions about fan perspective on Batman Nightfall that's coming out. And just I was talking to him, because then it just seeps into his influences are movies. He says those are his greatest influences. And so it's me talking to him about these movies that he likes and what's visually greatest information? And he's so dry. He's so dry. He's like, well, what does that mean? Do you want me? Is it visual? Do you mean visually? Do you mean by story? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, what inspires you to keep doing what you're doing? But yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He's going to come back on. I'm trying to get him to come to the West Coast for a signing. But yeah, the dynamic we have on that live is exactly the dynamic we have in person, where he just wants to roast me, and it's good and it's fun and it's welcome. He actually like apologized to me. Not apologize. He like double checked and was like, "You're not sensitive, are you? Like, I can stop if you're sensitive." And I'm like, I don't care. I work in a surf shop on the weekends, so guys roasting each other, whatever, it's fine, dude. That makes me feel like he's being natural, and that's all I want. I don't need a corporate drone. So yeah, Clayman, he's probably going to come back. I'm going to drag him over because there's movie conversations I want to have pertaining to comic books. So that being the case, I want to talk to him about movies and comics, and I think he'd be a great guy to get that perspective. Let's see how it translates into his panels. Okay, and now these are also just going to be conversations I think about and maybe I want documented in the comic world. Like this, not every stream needs to be an hour. I think they might dance around and last an hour, but if they are, cool. If they're not, that's also cool. So let's go into within the last 2 weeks, there was some crazy omnibus announcements, like crazy ones. They're, oh man, we're doing this. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, I will gladly freaking subscribe. And also, I just want you guys to know that you are. What's this? Share screen. Okay, sorry. You're learning with me because I don't know what's going on. Instagram, I think you're off. You're off live. Nobody watched. That's okay. Discard. There we go. We're driving up traffic to YouTube anyways, so I'm going to present. Share screen. Oh my gosh, open system preferences. It's a whole thing, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Oh. Oh, just entire screen. Okay. Oh my gosh. I think you guys are only seeing. I don't think you're seeing my screen anymore. Yeah. All right. Well, I can just read them to you. Sorry, you guys are learning. I got to figure out all this StreamYard live stream stuff. I went from just regular YouTube the first day to now using a platform to do it because I've seen how, frankly, Gem Mint Collectibles is the one who inspired all of this. He's inspired my YouTube channel. What is worthy of making video about? Just like, I think he's really freaking great. So that being the case is I watch his Monday through Friday live show, and I think it's just really interesting and very casual. And whether or not I have a following, I can do that. So that being the case, here we go to. We're just gonna go to DC Omnibus announcements. So there've been, like, in the last 2 weeks, an insane amount of omnibuses released. An insane amount just announced. And I want to make a list of what's coming out. So I'm on comicreleases.com. And it doesn't say. Last time it was. Nope. That's not right. It was updated recently. So here we go. I'll read you guys the announcements. And I'm going to tell you which ones I'm going to pick up. Or at least I think are worthy of a pickup. 100 Bullets, Deluxe Edition. Not going to get that. OHC. Batman by Paul Dini Omnibus. I think everyone should go pick that up. I have that. If you're liking all the Batman animated, they just did the Batman animated series omnibus and then the Batman and Robin Adventures omnibus. Those two things. If you like those, go get the Paul Dini book. I've read it. I read it when I just started the YouTube channel, and I was like, I wasn't ready to take on reviewing a whole omnibus because I wanted it to be something so much more formal than what it is now. Batman Detective Comics 1000 Deluxe Edition. Wow, I guess that was a really good issue. I've read it. OHC. That's cool. Elseworlds Justice League Volume 1. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, Book 1. That comes out this Wednesday, 8/20, so August 20th. Supposed to be really good. I've read it. I've read the first 2 Omnis of that also before I started the channel. I probably got to go do a reread. I want to finish that series. It's really good. It's after Blackest Night, though, I'm reading Brightest Day, and that's where I stopped because I was like, I don't know what's going on here. It's the resurrection of all the dead characters. I'm like, what does this mean? Swamp Thing by Nancy A. Collins Omnibus. I don't know anything about Swamp Thing, but I do know I want that series. Swamp Thing by Rick Veitch, Wild Book 1. I'm not really going to pick that up. I don't know. But the Nancy A. Collins stuff I know is super popular. Absolute Batman Arkham Asylum. Okay, I have the deluxe hardcover of that I've been meaning to read. It's in my need to read pile. I'm glad it's getting an absolute. People Live and Die by Grant Morrison's Batman. So I'm glad that that's finally getting some respect on its name. So yeah, from the crowds I follow, it's a famous book, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone really talk about it often. So I'd love to be able to have my own opinion. It comes out next week on the 27th. Justice League, World's Greatest Superheroes, TPB. I've had that before. I sold it, but it's really good. I sold it so I can go get the omnibus because it's one of the best stories out there. Again, by Alex Ross and Paul Dini. Look no further than one of the greatest collaborative teams. If you like Justice League, the animated series, go Paul Dini and just go follow him. Wildcats, the complete series, trade paperback. No, not for me. Batman City of Madness. This was a Black Label series I was hearing about. I don't follow all the Batman Black Label stuff because it's not my jam. Batman City of Madness. So I'd read it, but probably I'm not going to buy the trade. I'll read it digitally. I'm a DC. So I could subscribe to Marvel Unlimited and DC Universe. What is it? It's DC Universe Infinite now, whatever it is. I subscribe to both because if I'm reading through an Omni, but I'm at work or I'm somewhere else, not at work. I don't read comics at work anymore. I got in trouble. But anyways, just something to think about, something to, I have them and I read them. Like when I'm traveling on an airplane, I'm not going to bring a whole omnibus and break my back, but I'll download all the issues and read it on the plane. My favorite pastime is drinking coffee, Captain America coffee, and reading comics on planes. It's my favorite thing. Elseworlds, Superman, Volume 1, coming out in September. I'm not really going to pick that up. I'm not seeing anything that I'm going to pick up yet, which is a good sign for my bank account. Joker, Killer Smile, TPB, so trade paperback, comes out September 3rd. I read that series and I loved it. Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, just a great team, a great Joker story, which is not something I say often. So that one, I really liked that one. It's a trade paperback. I'd rather get the hardcover personally, but that's just how I collect. The Batman Family Year 1 box set. That is the Chuck Dixon, Robin Year 1, Batgirl Year 1, Nightwing Year 1 series. I think everyone should get that if they don't own it already. I do own it. It's the best. Chuck Dixon Batman is my favorite take, personally. I just bought his Nightwing compendium too. And the Robin one came out. I'm going to go pick that up. I want to start a longer conversation about those compendiums, but we'll talk about it in a minute. All-Star Batman by Scott Snyder. That was originally an early DC Rebirth title. I read it. I didn't love it. So All-Star Batman Deluxe Edition, if that's your cup of tea, go check it out. I need to give that a reread. It's Scott Snyder, John Romita Jr. Not bad. Batman Volume 3, Joker Year 1, standard hardcover. I'm not going to buy that. I'm collecting it. When they do a Chip Zdarsky Omnibus, I'll be right there. Batman 66 Omnibus, 2024 edition. Nightwing, Volume 5, Time of the Titans. I don't know what that is. Nightwing, Volume 5. Because they just released that compendium. I thought they weren't doing trade paperbacks anymore. Oh, I'm crazy. That's the Tom Taylor run. That's the standard hardcover Tom Taylor Time of the Titans. Comes out September 10th. Joker by James Tynion, the 4th compendium. Now, I wasn't originally on board for that series because I didn't want another Joker series. I was over Joker. And James Tynion's good, but I just didn't need more Joker in my life. I was wrong, because as soon as I found out that Joker is in the protagonist of the Joker series is Jim Gordon, that's when you hooked me, because Jim Gordon is the one who's been wronged by Joker the most. His wife and his daughter slain at the hands of the Joker. So compendium seems like a strong word. How long did that series go on? I was going to read it digitally, but now that it's wrapped, I'm good. Absolute Batman, The Dark Knight Master Race. Absolute Edition comes out the 17th of September. Not really my jam. I don't really want I'd get the hardcover, but not the Absolute Edition. Fun fact, I never read that series. I started it, didn't finish it. Didn't subscribe. Batman, One Bad Day, The Joker 2024, Dust Jacket, exclusive, standard hardcover. I'm glad they're doing that book. That book is so popular. I read it. I didn't love it, but I think I have to reread it because sometimes I'm not in the mood. Batman by Grant Morrison, book 1. Good. Glad they're doing this. Go read that. I did an omnibus review of Grant Morrison's Batman. Go read that. If you want to know what the Brave and the Bold is going to be about, go read that. Damian Wayne, first appearance-ish. Batman Incorporated, the complete series, trade paperback, $9.17. I think that's the new series led by Ghostmaker. Batman Detective Comics, Volume 3, Gotham Nocturne Act 2. Oh, that's Ron V's run, standard hardcover, Long Halloween Deluxe Edition. Good, $9.17. Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, book 2. Wow, comes out like 2 weeks later from the... Go read that too. Joker of the World. Don't know what this is. I think it's like Batman Europa, but it's just Joker stories. Okay, here's the first book I'm going to get, which comes out September 17th. Superman, the Triangle Era Omnibus Volume 1. If you guys don't know what Triangle comics are, it is Superman in the 90s going across 5 different titles. They were doing a Superman comic every single week. It might be 4 or 5. Anyways, weekly they're doing Superman books. And people wanted to know what order to read them in. This is all the precursor to Death of Superman. And even within that same era. People wanted to know what to read. So they would put a triangle on the books and it would say 1, 2, 3, 4. The sequence of what I think should be an industry standard. They should be doing that with the X-Men books right now. But they don't. So that's like classic Superman. John Bogdanov. Yeah, John Bogdanov. Louis Simonson. Dan Jurgens, the greatest of all time. Like Jerry Ordway's in there. Brett Breeding. Just all these amazing creators. So that's my favorite era of Superman, and I haven't even read those comics. So that's a necessary. Like, I want DC to know I want the 90s content. Batman Arkham Saga Omnibus 2024 edition. Super 924 2024. Elseworlds Just League Volume 2. Very cool. Poison Ivy Volume 3. Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, the complete series. This is for a guy who said, I don't want to read a lot of Joker stories. Batman or Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. You know who is writing it is Matt Rosenberg. And I freaking love him. I want to read his X-Men run. I want to read. He did this Joker series. I'm like, he did 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. And that is a book that I love. Even this week, I almost bought What's the Furthest Place from Here. I think he's an amazing creator. Like, I think his voice is amazing. So I want to validate what he's doing, and I'll go read this Joker series. We 3 20th Anniversary Deluxe Edition, OHC, oversized hardcover. Go buy that. Frank Wiley, Grant Morrison. Do I need to say more? If you're liking Tom King's Animal Pound, I would go read that too. I'd go read We 3 to see the influence. American Vampire Book 1. Animal Man by Grant Morrison Compendium. That's a good idea. So I love these compendiums they're doing. Batman the Cult Deluxe Edition. Who's that by? Batman the Cult, Deacon Blackfire. Oh, Jim Starlin, Bernie Wrightson. So yeah, go read that. I know it's a classic Batman story. Okay, coming out this October, DC versus Marvel Omnibus, DC versus Marvel The Amalgamage. I'm going to go pick these up. People are freaking out about them. So I'm going to go buy those. Oh, I can just... on this website, comicreleases.com, they tell you what... You can just open a new tab, and that's what I'm going to do. And I personally buy my Omnis from either in-stock trades or cheap graphic novels because they are the cheapest ones. They give you the best deals, man. And that's all I'm here for is deals. Any viewers, any comments? I don't think so. Missed Casual Comicer by Just a Minute. Elseworlds Batman Volume 2. Go read that. Green Lantern Corps by Peter J. Tomasi and Pat Gleason. I didn't know that they did a run this long on Green Lantern Corps because, unfortunately, the book that turned me off from Green Lantern Corps was the crossovers that they did in the Sinestro Corps War. A 25-issue event, which is crazy. But that was written by Dave Gibbons, who's supposed to be like one of the greats. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't my cup of tea. So that's coming out. I'm going to get both those because Peter J. Tomasi and Pat Gleason as a team is my favorite thing in the world. So, and like what they've done with Superman, what they've done with Batman and Robin. Okay, let me go see them do that with Kilowog, the best. So go read Spider-Man. Go buy all Pat Gleason's variants. He's the best, man. John Constantine by Jamie Delano Omnibus. Very cool. 10/15. We're in October 15th now. Wonder Woman by George Perez, Volume 1. I have that. I've read it. It's great. Go read that. Batgirl, Stephanie Brown. I don't know what. This one. Batgirl by Stephanie Brown. Okay, it's the OG stuff. It's the Brian Miller series. Pretty much Infinite Crisis era. Birds of Prey, Murder and Mystery, trade paperback. That is a trade. I just want them to do that. That's the beginning of Gail Simone's run on Birds of Prey. Very famous. Elseworlds Just League Volume 3. Green Lanterns by Jeff Johns, Book 3. Absolute Batman, Death of the Family. That is not to be confused with Death in the Family. Death in the Family is Jason Todd's death. Death of the Family is the third arc of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman run. So they collected those in. They're collecting that whole run now in absolute editions, which is great for them. Live your lives. I'm not going to buy the absolutes. I have the omnibus. That's all I need. Do it for the shelf space. But also, if you're an absolute collector, go get it. Batman, Superman, Silver Age Omnibus, World's Finest. Super cool. Not going to get it. DC Finest. That's their new format. Batman Year 1 and 2. Super cool. DC Finest Superman, the first superhero. I'm assuming that is the OG Superman, Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster stuff. Batman Volume 3, Elseworlds, in November 5th. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Hard Traveling Heroes Omnibus. That's interesting to me that they gave it an Omni treatment. I have the Absolute Edition of just the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams stuff, but the Hard Traveling Heroes Omnibus, that means they're going to collect the series that came after that, is my opinion, is what's going to happen there. Let me see if I can present my screen to you guys again. Let me try this again. Share screen. Entire screen. I'll do this. Share. Oh, you guys can see, I think you guys can see it now. Let me confirm. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you can see it now. And let's do it like this. Oh, great. You can see me too. Oh, no, just like this. Perfect. Okay, figured it out. So now, I'm looking here. JSA Compendium number 1. Very cool. You should buy this. If you don't have the Omnis, great. These are my tabs of books that I'm going to buy for myself. I started doing it more the Amalgam stuff. I want the Jim Lee covers because look at, just because of Dark Claw right here. Oh my gosh. DC versus Marvel Omnibus looks great. JSA Compendium. I have all 3 Omnis. I'm good. Don't need that. You should. One of the best DC runs, in my opinion. Robin, Son of Batman by Pat Gleason. Yes, Pat talked about this because at the tail end of their Batman and Robin run, Pat started getting co-story credit, as it should be, because at the beginning of Superman, Pat and Peter J. Tomasi were co-storytellers because it had to come out twice a month. So that's the case here. And so this is his Damian stuff. Pat's Damian stuff is my favorite. So let me go read this. I've never read this. I've seen it a bunch though. Okay. The Batman First Night. I will talk about this series later, but this is the Dan Jurgens one. Really good. With oh my gosh, Mike Perkins on art. Just a great series. If you like Batman, the Cape Crusader, go read this. Wildcats Compendium, book 1. It Was Inevitable. Absolute Mr. Miracle by Tom King and Mitch. That's going to be... I'm going to need that one. As they should. Tom King and Mitch. Just the best. Like, I'm so glad. This deserved it. Even though everyone wants Supergirl to get absolutes, this one deserved it. Wonder Woman, Origins and Omens. Let's see what that looks like. What is that one? Origins and Omens. Oh, DC Finest. Oh, the rest of the Girl Simone run. Okay. Scalped Omnibus. Book 4, Jeff Johns, Scalped Omnibus. Okay, I'm just going to pick up what I think should be highlighted on here now because we are going, where are we at on the stream? 30 minutes in? Yeah, we can keep going. Scalped Omnibus Volume 1, very fun. Absolute Justice. Great. Absolute Justice with an Absolute Edition. Absolutely, yes. Alex Ross DC stuff. Great. Scalped is early Jason Aaron stuff. He's kind of back at DC right now, which is cool. That's him at Vertigo. DC's Finest, Just League. Bridge Between Two Earths. What's this? What is that? Oh, it's OG, DC's Finest. JSA meets Justice League. That's what it is in the 70s. Very cool. Superman Volume 2, Elseworlds. Batman by Tom King, Book 1. It's about time they did this because the way they released his hardcovers was a mess. And they're waiting to give him the omnibus treatment. So this is just a placeholder for that because all of his Batman stuff is out of print. It's just a mess. They're getting it together. But Batman by Tom King, Book 1. Good. Get this out there. What the heck? DC Finds the Flash and Thunderbolt. Superman Exile and Other Stories. Okay. I wasn't originally going to read this. This takes place post John Byrne run of Superman, Man of Steel stuff, and in before the Triangle era. That is what this book captures. At first, I was like, no, I don't want to read a Superman off-world story. Here's what sold me on it. Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman run. It was amazing. So we're going to think about it. If I can get all these for half off, then yeah, I'll buy them. Nah, not right now. Absolute Transmetropolitan, that was in print already, so it's coming back to print or out of print. Aquaman by Peter David, number one, most excited for this. December's going to be a good month for me because they released the trades of that originally, that just like they're doing for the Tom King stuff right now, the books, trade paperbacks. Aquaman by Peter David Omnibus, that is a worthwhile endeavor. It's the best. It's Hook Hand Aquaman from the 90s. Amazing. DC's Finest. Okay, classic. I'm sorry, DC's Finest. Those are not the new trade initiatives. Those are like the Marvel Essentials. These are the DC's Essentials. Thank you. That's what these are. Injustice Compendium number 1. Maybe they don't want to do an Omni. Cool. Injustice by Tom Taylor, really where he took off. Poison Ivy Volume 4, Origin of Species. That must be the G. Willow Wilson run. DC Finest Events, 0 Hour Part 1. There's a 0 Hour Omni. There's an event I need to read. Why? It was written by Ron Mars. I love him. And all the Green Lantern stuff that spirals out of there. It's a good era. Legion of Superheroes, Zap Goes Legion. Hopefully that's a Paul Levitz book. Deathstroke the Terminator Omnibus by Marv Wolfman. Now, I love Marv Wolfman and I love Deathstroke. I'm not going to read this, though. Not going to buy this, not going to read this. Unless I hear like astounding reviews. Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer Turned Fugitive. So yeah, it's this run. This is like one of the main arcs, if not the main arc, of the Ed Brubaker Batman series. So it's probably collecting some of that. So good for them. Murderer Turned Fugitive. So Bruce Wayne Murderer, Vesper Fairchild. Then he goes on the run. If you read this and then you go read Ed Brubaker's Daredevil stuff, it's the same. Superhero goes like the amount of superheroes I know that have now gone to jail and like beat up villains in jail because they're so angry. I can think of 3 right now, and 2 of them are Daredevil. So, Catwoman Lifelines, DC Finest, Superman Kryptonite. I have this in my to read pile. It is written by Darwin Cook with art by Tim Sale. If you don't like how Tim Sale has done the Superman, the big bulky Superman, people say he looks like a thumb in Superman for All Seasons, go check out Superman Kryptonite because it looks very much more like slimmer, sleeker Superman. Batman Battle for the Cowl, the complete collection. I read the first 4 issues of this. Not for me. Nightwing Volume 6, Standing at the Edge. That's Tom Taylor's run. 52 Volume 2, so it's getting reprinted. Batman Detective Comics. Nocturne. What is this? Oh, that's Ron B's run. Aquaman King of Atlantis. Stormwatch Compendium. I'm glad they're doing all this Wildstorm stuff back. Stormwatch pre The Authority. I think that's the series it came out of. Supergirl, Girl of Steel, cool. Swamp Thing by Mark Millar and Phil Hester Omnibus. That's what's going to get me to go read Swamp Thing. That and the Alan Moore stuff. So, love Phil Hester. Mark Millar, great. Undeniably great writer. So, that's how I feel about him. Longbow Hunters, Green Arrow. I want the omnis of this. I want to go read that Mike Grell run. So, DC Power 24. Absolute Batman 0 Year. Now, this has some of my favorite Batman moments and pages and colors. So, Again, I have the omnibus. I don't need it. But for those of you who celebrate, go read this. February, Absolute Power comes into standard hardcover. Great run. I think if it's a great event, go read it. Dan Moore on art. Batman by Batman and Robin by Peter J. Tomasi, Patrick Gleason. Must read. I have the Omni, so we're good. But must read. Milestone Compendium Book 4. I think this collects all of the Milestone books. I have volume 1, and that is it. And I haven't read it yet, so I can't speak to this, but I think Milestone is one of the most important universes in comics in general. So really good. This is must read. Mark Waid, Omnibus Flash, longest Flash run of all time, one of the best. So absolutely great. I'm getting this. You should get it too. So literally the first Omni covers everything up until the first appearance of Impulse. And so that's where this picks up, is literally the issue before Impulse comes in. And so go read it. Batman Superman World's Finest, Secret Origins, cool. Far Sector Deluxe Edition. Far Sector is a really big deal. I have the first issue, never read it. So I got to go read Far Sector and come back to you guys. Forever Evil Omnibus, I wouldn't read it. I've read the event. The event's good in the context of all of Jeff Johns' Justice League stuff. I think that's all you need to read. You don't need to read Forever Evil Omnibus. All the tie-ins, is that what you want? Is that what you really want? Batman Nightfall Omnibus Volume 2, great. Chuck Dixon Batman, go read it. Big event. Big, huge. Didn't see where Omnibus 1 was listed, but okay. JSA Volume 2. This must be the end of the Jeff Johns run. Prez by Mark Russell and Ben Caldwell. I don't know anything about Prez, but I remember watching an interview on DC All Access, if you remember what that was, where they interviewed Mark Russell about it. This series got canceled, but I think it's a cult classic. I want to read it. Wonder Woman Golden Age Omni, Volume 6. Go pick that up. We're in February now. Absolute Transmetropolitan. Volume 3, great. Hellblazer Dead in America, cool. Born Again, great. Everyone should read Justice League International. I want the Omni, though. Flash by Grant Morrison and Mark Millar, I will pick that up. That is going in my list because first appearance of the Black Flash. Grant Morrison and Mark Millar, they don't like each other anymore, but they worked together on this, and it was like kind of picking up in the middle of Mark Waid's Flash run, so I'd read that. Okay, so this is a recent announcement. Comes out in March next year. Batman by James Tynion, Omnibus Volume 1. This is kind of weird for me. It's only going to be his Batman run, so post Tom King, pre Chip Zdarsky, or pre Josh Williamson for 5 issues. But Batman by James Tynion, Volume 4, Omni. That is going to be all the Miracle Molly stuff, Fear State, Joker War. That's what's going to be collected here. It was a good run, not my favorite, but it was fine. I read it. Art featured in it is amazing, though. We have Tony S. Daniel. We have where Jorge Jimenez really hopped in the run. My favorite look for Scarecrow. It's a good looking book, but the difference between Jorge Jimenez when Chip Zdarsky's on Batman and when James Tynion's on Batman is very interesting here. And James Tynion has written a lot of Batman. I think he's written more than Scott Snyder. I think he's written more than Tom King. He has written a ton because he has basically 3 other Omnis out: Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman Eternal, and which he co-wrote with other people because those were weekly series. But then Detective Rise and Fall of the Batmen, that's all him. He's written a ton of Batman. Then this, and it's volume 1. That means there's 2 more. I actually did a review on his run, so go check it out. It's good. It's fine. Batman Volume 4, Dark Prisons. That's Zdarsky's. Legion of Superheroes, Great Darkness Saga. Absolute Green Lantern Sinestro Core War. I think you guys should pick this up. It's been out of print for a long time. It's a great Green Lantern event. I'm not going to pick it up because I have the omnibuses. This is Ron V's Volume 5 Batman. Deadman Omnibus. Very cool. Deadman created by Neil Adams. I think that's what this is going to capture. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, by Neil Adams. Yep. So all of his early stuff. Deadman's a cool character. I think everyone should pick him up. Green Arrow Archer's Quest Omnibus Volume 1. I'm going to pick this up. Why? Because this is one of my favorite eras of Green Lantern. Green Arrow. It starts with Kevin Smith stuff, and then it goes into Brad Meltzer stuff. And I hope because it's Volume 1, they're going to go into Volume 2. It goes into Judd Winnick's Green Arrow, which all of those guys are amazing, and it's an all-time run on the character. So this one is great news. It's great news. Archer's Quest is a great series too. That's I swear on my life, guys, probably the third graphic novel I ever read. Because Green Arrow made an appearance in Smallville, and my dad and I were watching Smallville at the time. Batman Catwoman, that must be the Clayman Tom King series trade paperback. Okay, it's announced, but it's not there. Batman 89 Echoes, the sequel to Batman 89. Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. That's the new series that hasn't even come out yet. Or issue 1 just came out. Dark Knight's Middle Compendium. Okay, Doom Patrol Silver Age. Where are we at in the stream? I'm at 46 minutes. I think we're going to do Marvel next week because I am just going. It's hard to talk for this long. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're still watching, thank you for still watching. Batman Dark Age. Oh, this is the ongoing by Mark Russell right now. Amazing. Absolute Promethea. Absolute. That is a Alan Moore book with J.H. Williams. I haven't read it, but it's supposed to be good. Batman Golden Age Volume 2. Great. They should be reprinting this. Justice League New 52 Book 2. This is the Grant Morrison or the Jeff Johns stuff. Nightwing Volume 7, Fallen Grayson. That is the end of Tom Taylor's run. Gotham by Gaslight. These are now all books that are currently being out. Batman Elmer Fudd Deluxe Edition. Yes. Getting that because it is the freaking best. We can click on details this whole time. Not quite. Okay. That story and Date Night, my favorite parts of the Tom King Batman run. So amazing book. Justice League by Scott Snyder and James Tynion. This is the Scott Snyder run of Justice League. I have the hardcover. I haven't finished it. It's all right. I'll go check this out, but it's all the post-metal Infinite Frontier stuff that they were doing. Plastic Man No More. Legion of Superheroes 5 years later. That's a reprint. 100 Bullets. That is book 2. JLA book 2. This is what everyone should be reading. This is the Grant Morrison era Justice League. Nightwing Rebirth Omnibus. Interesting that they're putting this out. Not a crowd favorite, I've heard. So that's brand new. I haven't read it, so that's on me. But oh my gosh. Pre-Tom Taylor, Nightwing was in bad shape. Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. Wow. Okay. It's when he went back to the blue costume though, too. So everyone was stoked on that. I liked what Dan Jurgens did with the pieces he was given on that run. Green Lantern Silver Age Omnibus, Volume 2. Cool. Suicide Squad New 52 Omnibus. Cool. Not going to read that. Batman Volume 5 Dying City. Not going to read that. Nightwing Prince of Gotham. That's the New 52 Nightwing Omnibus getting a reprint. I want that. Superman Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds. That's a good story, and I read it by accident because I bought that thinking it was Final Crisis. It was not. Batman Full Moon. I don't know what that is. Birds of Prey, Hero Hunters, cool. Night Terrors Omnibus, not going to buy that. Night Terrors not my favorite event. Actually, I think it hurt the industry more than it helped. Red Hood and the Outlaws, 52 Omnibus, not for me. Superman Up in the Sky, Deluxe Edition, will be buying that because apparently it is that good. Everyone loves that run. It was a Walmart book, guys. That's what's crazy. Batman by Neil Adams Omnibus, as long awaited reprint. You guys should pick this up. I hope they recolored it to the original colors because they recolored it to modern colors and it's not as good. But that's necessary. First, Ra's al Ghul. Just classic. Denny O'Neil wrote it. Just one of the greatest teams in all time. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. These are just announced now, and it looks like these are announced, but we don't know when they're coming. They're recently announced. Gargoyle of Gotham, Noir Edition. That must mean some black and white, and that's the regular editions in color. Very cool. Batman Legacy Cowl. I don't know what that is. All right, we're almost done, guys. Harley Quinn, Birth of the Mirth. I don't know what that is. Peacemaker. That must be the OG Peacemaker series, which is just rough. No, Cheatcraft Novels didn't say what it is. Giant Turtle Man. Oh, that's Superman's family. Giant Turtle Man. Trial by Fire. This is the OG Suicide Squad stuff. Superman family. Giant Turtle Man. That's cool. That's the Jimmy Olsen stuff. Teen Titans Judas Contract. The most classic Teen Titans story. Shade the Changing Man by Peter Milligan and Chris Bachalo Omnibus. Really popular. Superman Last Days of Lex Luthor. Yeah, it's announced, but we don't know when it's coming out. Whew. Alrighty, guys. That is a lot of talking. I'm going to do Marvel next week or next time because it has been a long... We're going to stop sharing that. And you're back to your regularly scheduled program. That was a long time. That was a lot of books. So here is a recap of what I'm going to get. What I saved for myself. Robin, Son of Batman, Deluxe Edition hardcover. Absolute Mr. Miracle, Absolute Justice, Superman the Exile Omnibus right now for pre-order for $75. That's worth it. Aquaman by Peter David Omnibus, absolutely. Flash by Mark Waid Omnibus, Volume 2. 0 products found. Green Arrow Archer's Quest Omnibus, I'm going to buy that for sure. Superman Up in the Sky Deluxe Edition. DC Marvel Amalgam Omnibus. DC versus Marvel Omnibus. So that is where we're at. That's where we landed for all of this stuff. Yeah. And so now here is the last section of this live stream, and then I will leave you guys to your business. Here's what I read this week and what's amazing and what I'm probably going to be doing videos on soon. So it's a lot of catching up reading this week because I didn't pick up my poll list until Saturday. So, or until Friday after work. So I didn't read on Wednesday, but I made a big dent and I can give you what I'm thinking. I read 2 books from my poll list so far. First one being X-Men number 2. Wanted to see how everyone, not a huge critical reception to the first one we read. So I liked it, but not everyone did. I liked it. What else is there to say about this? I like Quentin Quire and Cyclops' dynamic. I think the way Ryan Stegman draws Psylocke's sword is so freaking cool. I like this team. I like the Quentin Quire Cyclops dynamic. Yeah, it's starting. This one is actually kind of like a tragic story, which is good. I need a couple more issues to figure out how I feel about their X-Men for X-Men number 2. Yeah, I just need a couple more issues to figure out how do I like it. But I can also see why people are critical of Stegman's art. It's tonally different than his Venom run. So yeah, I just want to see. X Factor number 1, my favorite. To no one's surprised, my most hyped title coming out, my favorite one that came out. Just awesome. Mark Russell, you are the man. I knew you were going to do something great with this, and guess what? You did something great with this. Oh, that is so good. If you liked All-Star Squadron, it is as good as that. I really hope that this is the book people read, and I think it hooks you in the first one, just conceptually. Basically, I can sum it up. It is, so I've never read X Factor, and it's Peter David had the very famous X Factor run, so makes me want to go read that. But led by Archangel with a bunch of B-list mutants, except for Havoc, who joins the team at the end of the issue, so not even quite in there. Let's make a team of mutants supported as a government entity. That's the take. And it's so good because the government thinks of them as soldiers and also thinks of them as a PR stunt and expendable. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. And so it's him trying to cope with all these teams. He thinks he's going to die. All these people are rookies. It's really, really good. I'm going to tell you right now, that's my book of the week. I think it was so good. Go read X Factor. And it came out last Wednesday, so there should still be some at your shop. Okay, so I caught up on Spider-Boy issue 7 and 8. I have issue 9 ready to read. But my subscription is ending there. The end of the Madame Monstrous storyline. And then actually, that's what this one is. The end of that run where they turn all the humanimals back. Cool, fun, lighthearted, just not for me. I'm a little too old for it, but I hope everyone reading it likes it. Spider-Boy, number 8. First appearance of the Puzzler, which I listened to a Dan Slott interview on. Very good. Puzzler was good. Spider-Boy was good. Just an interesting take on those. I'm ready for this run to be done, though. I'm good on it. Like, cool, and it's just for kids, and have fun with that. It's just not for me, and I can't afford it right now. That's for $5 a month. I'm good. Blood Hunt number 1. Just read the first issue of the event. Probably going to read the whole thing now when it's over, and it's almost over. So good, great event. Vampires are kind of cool. I've read the tie-ins to this, but without reading the actual event now. So we have that. Very cool. Blood Hunt number 1. Good. Yeah. Good twist ending. Great twist ending on that issue. Just a good Marvel event. Like, vampires are cool, and Blade's having a moment, so I'm glad that they're giving him a moment. Immortal Thor number 1. I'm so late. This is like a year old at least, but I read it. It's good. I might wait until it's all collected, but these covers that they're doing is really good. And also, I love like Roxxon as a villain for Thor, and I know that that's something that's happening in this series. Really good. Okay, read this Harley Quinn annual. Pretty good. Erica Henderson crushes. It's just fun, nice comics. Like, when it comes to an all ages book, this is way more where I'm landing. What is it? It's 13 and up, so it's not all ages. I land closer to something like this, which is good. Harley gets super rich and goes on a boat. That's the pitch. Very good. Very good. Erica Henderson, though. Love ya. Absolutely adore ya. Okay, let's see. What else did I read? Okay. Yes, I concluded my Shazam run. Yeah, here we go. I read, Shazam. I was really behind. 4 months of Shazam, 11 through 14. Josie Campbell stuff, it was good, but not something I need to be collecting anymore. You know, this, and it's not Josie's fault. I actually kind of blame Mark Waid for this. This isn't the book I wanted it to be. I wanted to be Power of Shazam by Jerry Ordway, and it's just not. And I have to live with that. So, Shazam 11 to 14. all right. They're all right, but it's over. I like Josie Campbell's writing style though, and I'm glad she's given Mary some time. It's just good. Picked up, caught up on Fantastic Four, but picked up issue 23, 21, 22, the Blood Hunt tie-ins. Good issues. Good comics. Ryan North crushing on this book, and Fiorelli, great artist. So those are good. I liked it was a Reed story mostly for me. So they had a good Reed run. I like Reed. Reed and Alicia they were stuck together in this event. So that was a really interesting dynamic at play. Finished up Batman the first night, the last issue of this series. If you like Batman Cape Crusader, look no further than this story. Really good, really early Batman in the OG. It's like Batman Bat-Man. So there you go. Mike Perkins, Mike Spicer, colorist of Daniel Warren Johnson. Look no further than this issue. Really good. Yeah, good series. Ooh, I would collect the trade paperback if they had it, but not for full price. Never for full price, guys. Again, there's 2 other trades that I read. That's 14 issues. I read 14 issues, and I read 2 trades. So I'm catching up. Beta Ray Bill by Daniel Warren Johnson. Video coming soon. I'm going to record it probably today. Really freaking good. Here's my sketch from Daniel Warren Johnson in the flesh. Really good. Really good. Like, that was my first Beta Ray Bill book, other than the early Simonson stuff. But, so good. And then these are 2 quick reads, so I highly recommend always quick reads. Like, if you just need, hey, drop me in. And also, that's what image trades are perfect for. It's like, hey, I don't want any context. I don't want to think about continuity. Just kind of want to read right now. Boom. Look no further than Public Domain. Amazing Chip Zdarsky. A comic about comic. Video also coming soon. We're trying to record these 2 videos today. So there you go. Beta Ray Bill. Public Domain. Just 2 great. And this one, the cool part is like people could take this as like it's a love letter to MCU, or like it's a knock on the MCU. It's not that. It's a love letter to comics, and that's why I love it. Great. The best book to come out of Substack. There, I said it. All right. That's my recap. I'm catching up on my books, and my trade paperback pile grew so much. I want to kind of skip the line and catch up on my Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips stuff. Houses of the Unholy came out today or this week. Pick that up. I want to read it. So we will talk about them next. I'm actually going to be off for lives for the next 2 weeks. I'm going on camping, going on some trips. So I'm going to do those, and then maybe a midweek live. I'll catch up some more books in a couple days. Maybe midweek. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Cameron. I don't just read comics. I love them. Feel free to drop a comment or clap those like and subscribe buttons. I like doing these, whether or not anyone's watching. So I'm glad you're here if you came. Hopefully you had as much fun as I did. Comment what you're reading, what you've read, what you're liking right now. I want to know, and I respond to my comments, okay? So I will talk to you guys later. See you next time.